In a game like Hades or Deadcells, there's often times where you encounter enemies or an area that you just can't get past or beat because of RNG, which, as if it didn't know, is random in gaming, or simply put, an upgrade that you just haven't gotten yet. You gain experience by playing the game some more, and now your character has more health and other perks that carry over to every future run, making the game a bit easier over time. This type of game is called a roguelite, where upgrades carry over to future runs. Spelunky, on the other hand, is a roguelike, which you probably knew, but if you didn't know, it's a genre where it randomly generates every level with different enemy placements and level layouts, just like a roguelite, and also has permadeath like a true roguelike, where any weapons or abilities you obtain don't carry over to your next run. This means that the player has to master the skills and mechanics to overcome the game instead of the character doing it for you. The prominent aspect that's immediately noticeable between these two types of games is the difficulty curve. One makes you play the game more and more to bring the difficulty down with permanent upgrades, while the other has a steady difficulty curve that the player has to master to finish the game. So in this episode of Player's Narrative, let's take a look at Spelunky 2 and how it upgrades the player instead of the character. One of the elements that's unique to Spelunky is that every level is not only randomly generated with some authored elements, but is also dynamic, meaning the environments in each biome react to the player's actions, like bombing a random wall to access a secret area, or filling a room with water to impede enemies. The pickaxe can be used to dig straight through the exit, pretty much skipping the entire biome. Turkeys, when bombed or tossed into lava, can give you more health. These, along with enemy behaviors and patterns, make for emergent and dynamic encounters in each world, like lowering an aggroed enemy to a shopkeeper so you can steal all of his stuff, or say unintentionally breaking the ghost part that forces the player to beeline it for the exit. Permadeath in most roguelites are not really permadeath, as they let you carry over stuff from previous runs like money, upgrades, and new weapons, like I said in the beginning. In Spelunky, permadeath, like in Binding of Isaac, if you die, you lose all of your progression and have to start over from scratch. That means that every run starts from the same basic build that can be upgraded with pickups along the way that are not permanent. I personally prefer roguelikes that have permadeath like Spelunky, as it not only raises the stakes for each run, but also makes you play with caution and thought instead of getting overpowered and brute forcing your way through the levels, as many games are guilty of. But some players may never pass that skill floor or feel like they're not making any progression even after putting hours into it. Spelunky circumvents that by using shortcuts. So if you bring some item to this NPC, she'll open the shortcuts to most level, letting you skip the ones that you've already completed. This meta level progression benefits low level skilled players to complete the game, but by only using shortcuts, you miss out on a lot of items and other upgrades that can make the game a bit easier. It also unlocks other playable characters, which are purely cosmetic though. Another way Spelunky levels up the player is that it punishes recklessness, which can say lead to you trapping yourself into a corner and nowhere to go. It also discourages slow, methodical play, as there's a ghost that appears after 3 minutes to slowly hunt you down, which leads to a pace that's quick enough to let the player's ingenuity shine, either by escaping traps or avoid falling to death by paying attention to the environments and create anecdotes that are really memorable. Permadeath in Spelunky raises the stakes and difficulty by asking you to complete the game in one run and not getting more powerful with each run until the game feels like a cakewalk. This ensures the player grows their skill rather than their character. Having just one life adds more weight to each run and is also more satisfying when you finish the game without dying. This gives you that sense of rush, not because you leveled up your character, but because you leveled up yourself. The vast majority of roguelikes focus on combat, enemy placements, and level layout. Spelunky stands out to me because it makes platforming a key mechanic along with other roguelike elements. In a game like Deadcells, you can easily teleport through a level using these portals to zip around the area and grab important items. In Spelunky, to get the Ujjarai, you'd need to find the key in the level first, and then look for a room that's randomly generated and plan your route to get there. This makes the player think on their feet and find the most efficient way to grab the item and also exit the level before the ghost appears. Brilliant stuff. Systemic gameplay like water flooding a level and its ripple effects, or lava blocking your path or killing a turkey, getting NPCs to fight each other, all makes for more dynamic and emergent, making for more memorable runs and pining for that one more run feeling. So Spelunky breaks traditions of the formula, but it keeps the essence of a true roguelike to deliver an experience like no other. It's tough as nails with punishing deaths and a time constraint, but it also helps low skilled players by letting them complete one level at a time with shortcuts, albeit you don't get to buy upgrades or items from levels you skipped before, like the Ujjarai. A great Spelunky run has you gripping your controller with white-knuckled excitement. You get to the finish line on your own and not with the help of the game, and that is how Spelunky 2 upgrades the player instead of its characters. Hey, thanks for watching, subscribe if you want to support my channel and like the video if you did. Let me know what your favourite roguelike is in the comment section below. I know it's been a while since I've made a video, but hopefully I'm back this time. Ciao.